Oscar-winning actress Diane Keaton has died at the age of 79. Keaton is known for a long and dynamic career on screen, including her Academy Award-winning performance in 1977's Annie Hall and a role in the Godfather films. People magazine reported her death earlier today. Details were not immediately available, and Keaton's loved ones have asked for privacy, according to a family spokesperson who spoke to People. Joining me now live for reaction is Chris Bumbray, the editor-in-chief of JoBlo.com. Chris Bumbray, thanks so much for being with us today. I wonder what your first reaction was to learning of her passing.
Oh, sadness. The thing is, Diane Keaton was one of those really iconic actors. Recently we've had a few of them that have passed away. There was Gene Hackman, there was Robert Redford, and Diane Keaton in her own way was just as iconic. Like you said, an Oscar winner for Annie Hall. She was in the Godfather trilogy. She made a bunch of movies with Woody Allen. She was still really active. She'd been in the Father of the Bride movies, the Book Club movies, Something's Gotta Give. So her stardom really went on for about 50 years. One of the most iconic actresses of her generation. If you look at her there in the footage that you have, she was kind of a fashion icon as well. Nobody really dressed like that before Annie Hall, and then it became kind of a staple and a trademark that I think a lot of people are still imitating to this day. I think people underestimate how important of a role and how important of a film Annie Hall was. It swept the Oscars the year it came out. It beat Star Wars at the Oscars, actually. And Keaton's performance in it made her a household name. She was in a bunch of hit movies afterwards. Looking for Mr. Goodbar was one of them. She was in a great movie from the 80s called Baby Boom. She had one of those enduring careers that just went on and on and on.
Oh, I loved her in Baby Boom. That was a really good one. Yeah, that iconic style. She's known for that. The hats, the kind of tailored outfits, the men's wardrobe kind of inspiration that she also incorporated with her looks as well. And she also just seems so endearing in the interviews that she would give.
She did. She had a style that was all of her own. I think that's what made her iconic. She wasn't as polished as a lot of her contemporaries were. There was something real and there was something vulnerable about her. And I think that's what made people feel that she was very personable. And I think that's why her career really went on. I know she was known for having a very good sense of humor as well. Martin Short wrote a book about his career, and he talked about making the Father of the Bride movies. And he always said that working with her was a highlight, that she had this kind of really rude sense of humor, which he loved. He said that they had a lot of fun making those movies. And I think one of the things about her that's noteworthy is the fact that directors really wanted to work with her over and over and over again. So she had these partnerships with these directors that went on for years. She was in a lot of Francis Ford Coppola movies. She worked with Warren Beatty, both before and after they broke up many times. She was with Nancy Meyers in a bunch of films. That was the thing. She was apparently just a sweet, wonderful person and, a great screen presence, that's for sure.
And she just seemed to make some really incredible choices with the roles that she picked up along the way. As you mentioned, it must be part of those relationships that she had with so many big players in Hollywood. When you're thinking about the legacy that she is leaving behind, I wonder what's on your mind.
Well, I think definitely the Godfather trilogy, particularly the first two movies, those were hard, dramatic roles. But then, she turned around and did Sleeper and Annie Hall with Woody Allen and showed a real flair for comedy. That was the thing about Diane Keaton. She could really do it all. She could do these really dark movies like Looking for Mr. Goodbar, and then she could go and make a charming comedy like Baby Boom. She was tough to pigeonhole, and I think that's what gave her a lot of staying power.
And she's from the generation of actors. You kind of mentioned that off the top, too, that kind of like iconic Hollywood sort of persona that she had as well. One of those people that might kind of transcend the regular sort of celebrity sort of genre.
Yeah, it does seem like that's kind of the last generation of old school movie stars, right? Where people could open movies and you'd go see, for instance, a Diane Keaton movie. I don't feel that people nowadays really have that kind of staying power where it's all about the movie and the property or the franchise that they're in. Diane Keaton, Robert Redford, and Gene Hackman, and these other great actors like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, they were their own franchises, right? You went to see movies for them, and I really think that she's one of the last of that generation. And it's sad to see that a lot of them, unfortunately, are passing away these days. But that's time. Time marches on.
Such a unique person. Certainly going to be missed. Chris Bumbray, thanks so much for being with us today. Appreciate your reaction.